The unsolved disappearance of D.B. Cooper. On November 24, 1971, a quiet man wearing a black suit walked into Portland International Airport and bought a one-way plane ticket under the name Dan Cooper. At first, nobody noticed anything unusual about him. He appeared calm, polite, and completely ordinary. The man boarded Northwest Orient Airlines Flight 305 headed for Seattle. There were 36 passengers on board. Shortly after takeoff, Cooper handed a note to a flight attendant named Florence Schaffner. At first, she assumed it was just another businessman trying to flirt with her, and placed the note in her purse without reading it. But Cooper leaned toward her and quietly said, "Miss, you'd better look at that note. I have a bomb." Shocked, Florence opened the paper. The note demanded $200,000 in cash, 4 parachutes, and a fuel truck waiting in Seattle. Cooper then opened his briefcase slightly. Inside were red cylinders connected to wires and a battery. Whether it was a real bomb has never been confirmed. The pilots immediately contacted authorities while Cooper calmly sat in his seat, drinking bourbon and smoking cigarettes. Passengers had no idea hijacking was taking place. To avoid panic, the crew told everyone there was only a minor mechanical issue delaying landing. When the plane reached Seattle, authorities agreed to Cooper's demands. The passengers were released safely. The ransom money and parachutes were brought aboard. Then Cooper made another demand. He ordered the pilots to fly toward Mexico City at low altitude with the cabin, unpressurized. Only the flight crew remained on the aircraft. As the plane flew through a dark, stormy night over the Pacific Northwest, Cooper gave strange instructions to the crew before sending them into the cockpit and closing the curtain behind them. Around 8 p.m., warning lights suddenly indicated the rear staircase of the Boeing 727 had been lowered mid-flight. The aircraft shook violently. Somewhere over the wilderness below, D.B. Cooper jumped out of the plane carrying the ransom money into freezing rain at night over dense forest. And then he vanished. When the plane finally landed in Reno, Nevada, Cooper was gone. The only things left behind were a black clip-on tie, several cigarette butts, and 2 parachutes. The FBI launched one of the largest investigations in American history. Agents searched forests, rivers, and mountains. Hundreds of suspects were investigated over the years, but no confirmed trace of Cooper was ever found. Many experts believed he died during the jump. The conditions were incredibly dangerous. He wore business shoes and a trench coat, not proper skydiving gear, and the area below was covered with thick forest and rough terrain. But others believed Cooper survived and escaped. Then, nearly 9 years later, a young boy named Brian Ingram made a shocking discovery while digging in the sand along the Columbia River. He uncovered bundles of decaying cash. The serial numbers matched the ransom money given to Cooper. Nearly $6,000 had somehow ended up buried near the riverbank, but investigators still couldn't explain how it got there. The discovery only deepened the mystery. Over the decades, countless theories emerged. Some believed Cooper was a former military paratrooper. Others thought he was an airline employee with technical knowledge of the Boeing 727. One suspect, Richard Floyd McCoy, carried out a nearly identical hijacking only months later. Another suspect, Robert Rackstraw, was a Vietnam veteran with parachuting experience and a criminal background. But none of the evidence ever conclusively proved who Cooper really was. Even the famous name D.B. Cooper was actually a mistake. A reporter accidentally used the wrong name early in the investigation, and it stuck forever. Today, the case remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in FBI history. No body was ever found, no confirmed identity was discovered, and nobody knows whether D.B. Cooper died in the wilderness or successfully disappeared with the money into history.